Egypt's foreign minister urged urgent action after talks with US and Iran. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati held talks with US David Lammy on Middle East tensions and de-escalation efforts. And Egypt and Serbia discussed joint defense manufacturing and tech localization. The news in detail. Egypt's foreign minister held separate talks with US and Iranian officials calling for urgent steps to contain the regional crisis. Egypt's foreign minister Badr Abdulati held phone calls with US Special Envoy for the Middle East Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Abdulati stressed the urgent need to de-escalate the situation and pursue a ceasefire amid mounting tensions in the region. He urged both sides to activate diplomatic channels and prevent a wider conflict in the Middle East. Cairo continues to play a central role in international efforts to restore stability. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati held talks with his British counterpart David Lammy to discuss the rapidly evolving situation in the Middle East and ways to de-escalate the military tensions between Israel and Iran. Minister Abdulati outlined Egypt's position, which calls for an immediate halt to the escalation and a ceasefire, as well as a return to diplomatic negotiations aimed at reaching an agreement on Iran's nuclear program in order to prevent further deterioration of the regional situation. Egypt's aviation minister met top airport executive in Paris to boost cooperation and align with Vision 2030 goals. Minister of Civil Aviation Samah Al-Hifni held a series of meetings with international airport management leaders on the sidelines of the 55th Paris International Air and Car Show. Discussions focused on expanding cooperation in smart operation, sustainability and workforce development. The talks support Egypt's Vision 2030 strategy to modernize its aviation sector and establish globally integrated high-performance airport hubs. Egypt's military production minister met with Serbia's prime minister to explore joint manufacturing and tech localization. Minister of State for Military Production Mohammad Salahuddin Mustafa received Serbian Prime Minister Đuro Matsut at the Abu Zabil Specialized Industries Company. The talks focused on expanding cooperation in defense manufacturing and technology transfer. The Egyptian minister reaffirmed the ministry's policy of partnering with local and international firms to exchange expertise and localize advanced production technologies within its affiliated companies. Egypt's ICT minister met Italian firms to attract new investments and expand infrastructure partnership. Minister of Communication and Information Technology Amr Talat held talks with officials from leading Italian companies and institutions to encourage investment in outsourcing and digital services. The meetings highlighted ongoing collaboration between Telecom Egypt and Italian firm Sparkle, particularly in enhancing international infrastructure. The discussions form part of Egypt's broader strategy to position itself as a global outsourcing hub and strengthen tech sector ties with Europe. Serbia's prime minister visited key heritage sites during his official trip to Egypt, praising the country's ancient legacy. As part of his official visit to Cairo, Serbian Prime Minister Đuro Matsut toured the Grand Egyptian Museum, the National Museum of Egypt, Civilization, Infostat, and the Giza Pyramids. He viewed a wide range of iconic artifacts and took commemorative photos at the historic sites. The visit underscored growing cultural ties between Egypt and Serbia and highlighted the global appeal of Egypt's archaeological and architectural heritage. Brazil's ambassador to Cairo welcomed President Sisi's expected visit to Rio de Janeiro for the BRICS summit. Brazil's ambassador to Egypt, Paulino Franco de Carvalho, praised the close friendship between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. In remarks to Egyptian radio, he highlighted the over 100-year history of Egypt-Brazil relations and expressed pride in el-Sisi's upcoming participation at the BRICS Leaders Summit in Rio de Janeiro. The envoy underscored the importance of Egypt's presence at the summit amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. Egypt's Haya Karima Foundation is scaling up psychological and mobility aid for vulnerable groups. The Haya Karima Foundation continues its inclusive development efforts by launching specialized initiatives focused on mental health and support for persons with disabilities. The campaign, launched in August 2023, has reached over 14,000 beneficiaries with early psychological support services for children as young as 2. The program provides safe communication channels and tailored treatment options under medical supervision. Meanwhile, the Khutwa initiative, launched in 2022, has so far distributed 2,000 mobility devices, both manual and electric wheelchairs, with plans to reach 2,500 units by the end of 2025, ensuring fair geographic distribution across Egypt. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli chaired a meeting to ensure stable medical supply levels across Egypt. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli held a follow-up meeting to review the status of pharmaceutical and medical supply availability. The meeting comes as part of regular efforts to maintain a strategic stock of essential drugs and equipment. Madbouli reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring the continuous availability of medical resources needed to support stable health services across all medical facilities nationwide. Air Cairo partners with Akron Aviation to roll out a cutting-edge flight data monitoring system across its fleet. Air Cairo has announced a strategic partnership with Akron Aviation to implement an advanced flight data monitoring system across its ATR 72, E190 and A320 fleet. The move supports the Ministries of Civil Aviation's broad modernization strategy and reflects Air Cairo's commitment to operational excellence and flight safety. The system, officially launched on 16th, 2025, utilizes Akron's Flight Data Connect platform and integrates custom monitoring mechanisms tailored to Air Cairo's standard operating procedures, enabling real-time analytics and data-driven decision-making. An Egyptian political leader says Cairo plays a pivotal role in calming international and regional crises. Assistant Secretary General of the Egypt October Party, Ahmed El-Baz, affirmed that Egypt is making sustained efforts to de-escalate ongoing tensions across the region and the globe. In an official statement, he said Egypt diplomacy has taken on a leading role since the outbreak of the Gaza war on October 7th, engaging in international mediation to achieve a ceasefire, facilitate detainees exchanges, and support the Palestinian right to statehood. El-Baz stressed that Egypt remains committed to securing just and lasting peace for regional stability and development. Egypt's transport minister says the government is deepening ties with private firms to modernize public transit services. Minister of Industry and Transport Kamil El-Wazir reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to expanding cooperation with private sector companies to upgrade the passenger transport fleet and raise service quality. The initiative aligns with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's directives to localize key industries, including bus manufacturing, and to establish Egypt as a regional hub for industrial production. The move supports wider national efforts to modernize infrastructure and promote sustainable mobility solutions. Large container vessels are resuming Suez Canal crossings after months of disruption caused by regional instability. The Suez Canal has seen the return of mega container ships for the first time since March as regional tensions begin to ease. The CMA CGM Osiris was the first launch vessel to transit the canal from Bab el-Mandeb, marking a significant step in restoring confidence in the vital waterway. The Suez Canal Authority has been working closely with global shipping lines, offering incentives and logistical support to resume traffic. The move is expected to help stabilize disrupted maritime trade routes. Egypt's transport minister met Mitsubishi executive to expand metro system cooperation and train modernization. Minister of Industry and Transport Kamil El-Wazir held talks with the CEO of Japan's Mitsubishi Machinery to strengthen cooperation on Cairo metro projects. The discussions covered plans to refurbish 35 trains on Line 2 and 23 trains on Line 1. They also reviewed progress on Metro Line 4 with 23 new trains and maintenance services set to begin under a 2021 contract. The first train for Line 4 is expected to arrive in Egypt by May 2026. Egypt financial watchdog has introduced new regulations for insurance brokers to improve oversight and transparency. Egypt's Financial Regulatory Authority has issued decision number 69 for the year 2025, setting stricter rules for insurance and reinsurance brokers. The decision requires all brokers to register through a digital platform within 45 days, with licenses now valid for 5 years. Individuals with recent moral turpitude conviction are barred from board positions, while industry experience and independence from insurers are mandatory. Foreign brokers must hold valid license in their home countries and will be subject to consolidated supervision in Egypt. Egypt's cabinet has approved a major solar power deal with China's State Grid Corporation as part of its 2040 energy strategy. The Egyptian cabinet has approved a proposal by China's State Grid Corporation to develop 2 solar power plants with a combined capacity of 900 megawatts. The first, a 500 megawatt facility, will be built in Minya, while a second 400 megawatt plant is planned for the Oasis region. The move aligns with Egypt's Energy Strategy 2040 and aims to boost renewable integration in the national grid. Separately, the cabinet extended contracts with Smart and Avid for 1 year to continue managing Egypt's digital subsidy system, covering bread and commodity distribution via ration cards. Egypt's Weather Authority warns of soaring temperatures and dense morning fog in several regions. The Meteorological Authority is forecasting a rise in temperatures tomorrow, with extremely hot conditions expected during daylight hours across most parts of the country. Nighttime and early morning hours will see milder weather. Dense morning fog is likely to affect visibility along the northern coast, the Nile Delta, Great Cairo, Suez Canal cities, and northern and central Sinai. Winds are also expected to be active over various regions. Citizens are advised to take necessary precautions. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. Egypt's foreign minister urged urgent action after talks with US and Iran. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati talks with UK's David Lammy on Middle East tensions and de-escalation efforts. And Egypt and Serbia discuss joint defense manufacturing and tech localization. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.